Welcome to Future Business School's Book Bites. Today, we're diving into a groundbreaking book on how we think, Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. This book reveals the two systems of thinking that drive our decisions, one fast and intuitive, the other slow and deliberate.
Kahneman's insights into human judgment and decision-making are invaluable, both in business and in everyday life. Let's explore these powerful lessons and how you can apply them to improve your decision-making and critical thinking. The two systems of thinking.
Kahneman introduces the two modes of thinking: System 1, which is fast, automatic, and intuitive, and System 2, which is slow, deliberate, and analytical. For instance, when you instantly recognize someone's face, you're using System 1. But when you're solving a complex math problem, you're engaging System 2. A real-life example could be driving a familiar route. System 1 is in control, but when you encounter a detour, System 2 steps in to help you navigate. System 1 is what we rely on for quick decisions, but it's not always accurate. It's responsible for snap judgments and first impressions. For example, think about when you meet someone for the first time. You might make a quick judgment about them based on their appearance, but this might not reflect who they really are. In real life, this could lead to poor decisions in hiring or relationships if we don't allow System 2 to take over and evaluate more thoroughly.
System 2 is slower and more effortful, but it's essential for deep thinking and complex decision-making. For example, when you're making a significant financial decision, like investing in stocks or starting a business, it's critical to engage System 2 to analyze the risks and benefits. A practical example is how entrepreneurs take time to develop business plans by analyzing market conditions and forecasting revenues, which requires a lot of System 2 thinking.
One of the major themes in the book is the concept of cognitive biases, mental shortcuts that System 1 uses to simplify decision-making. These shortcuts can be helpful, but they often lead to errors. A common bias is the availability heuristic, where people judge the likelihood of events based on how easily examples come to mind. For instance, after hearing about a plane crash, you might overestimate the danger of flying even though it's statistically very safe. Being aware of these biases helps us make more rational decisions.
Kahneman explains the anchoring effect, where we rely too heavily on the first piece of information we receive. In real life, this happens when negotiating a salary or price. If someone starts with a high number, your counteroffer might also be higher than you originally intended. A practical tip would be to resist anchoring by doing your research beforehand, so you're not swayed by the initial figure thrown at you.
People tend to fear losses more than they value gains, a phenomenon known as loss aversion. In real life, this is why many people hold on to bad investments for too long. They fear selling at a loss. This bias also explains why people often avoid taking risks, even when the potential rewards outweigh the risks. To counteract this, try to assess situations more objectively, considering both potential gains and losses without letting fear of loss cloud your judgment.
The endowment effect refers to how people overvalue things they own simply because they own them. For example, you might think your car is worth more than its market value just because it's yours. In real-life business situations, this bias can lead to overpricing products or holding on to underperforming assets. Recognizing this bias allows you to detach emotionally from your possessions or investments and make more rational financial decisions.
Many of us are more confident in our judgments than we should be, a bias called overconfidence. In real life, overconfidence can lead to poor investment decisions, like believing you can time the market perfectly or predicting the success of a new business without sufficient evidence. A real-world example is entrepreneurs who jump into ventures without testing the market, only to face unexpected challenges. To combat overconfidence, it's crucial to always seek feedback and second opinions before making significant decisions.
Kahneman discusses hindsight bias, where we believe, after an event has occurred, that we could have predicted it. For example, after a financial crisis, people often claim they knew it would happen. In reality, we rarely have as much foresight as we think. A real-life application is in business strategy. Acknowledging this bias helps us focus on planning and learning from the past, rather than assuming we can predict future outcomes with certainty. Priming refers to how subtle cues can influence our thoughts and behaviors. For example, if you read words related to aging, you might unconsciously start walking more slowly. In a real-world scenario, businesses use priming in marketing, where small cues in advertisements can make you more likely to buy a product. Knowing about priming can help you become more aware of how your environment influences your decisions.
Kahneman warns about the planning fallacy, where people underestimate how long tasks will take and overestimate their ability to complete them. In real life, this might occur when someone plans a renovation or project at work, thinking it will take less time than it actually does. A practical way to avoid the planning fallacy is to always add a buffer to your timelines and consider past experiences when estimating how long something will take.
As mentioned earlier, the availability heuristic leads us to base judgments on easily recalled information. For instance, after hearing about a lottery winner, you might believe your chances of winning are higher than they really are. In real life, this can lead to poor decision-making when investing, as people often chase after trends they've heard about recently. To avoid this, rely on data and research rather than recent anecdotes or stories. Kahneman's book ultimately teaches us the value of critical thinking. By understanding how our minds work and the biases we face, we can engage System 2 thinking more often to make better decisions. Whether you're managing a team, making a financial investment, or planning your future, taking the time to think critically and question your assumptions will lead to more successful outcomes in life and business.
And that's a wrap on the key lessons from Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Understanding how our two systems of thinking operate gives us the tools to make better, more informed decisions. If you can slow down and engage your System 2 thinking, you'll find yourself making smarter choices in every aspect of your life.
Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through Future Business School's Book Bites. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Continue learning, keep pushing boundaries, and stay tuned for more content designed to help you succeed.